In this tutorial, we'll look at simple yet effective techniques for drawing shiny materials like metals, gems, and pearls for character accessories. These tricks are easy to apply and can instantly make jewelry look richer and more believable. Don't worry if it seems complex at first. Once you understand the basics, you'll see how fun and flexible these materials can be to paint. How to make metals look expensive. Start with a dark, desaturated base to make the lights more prominent and vibrant. Clip a new layer and add glow mode to the base, and add lights using a light yellow color, or any color that matches the light source in your image. Add glow mode ensures that the lights become not only brighter but also more saturated, creating a colorful effect that feels very close to reality. The secret to drawing lights on metals. Metals reflect their surroundings almost like a mirror, but you can simplify this by using a specific gradient that represents the horizon. This is basically two gradients from light to dark stacked on top of each other. It's a universal gradient that immediately tells the viewer the object is metallic, regardless of its color. You can use the metal highlights gradient from my assets on an add glow layer, or paint your own. Just remember that the trick lies in alternating soft and hard transitions between colors. An angled gradient can make the effect feel more dynamic. Be careful not to overdo the highlights, as too much brightness can create a blown-out look. If you find yourself with large areas of solid light, just gently erase parts to soften it. Finally, take a textured blending brush and add subtle irregularities to the surface with gentle strokes and dabs. 3D effect easily. You can easily create a 3D effect by duplicating your base and lights layers, placing the copies below, and offsetting them slightly to form the object's backside. You can transform them to adjust the thickness. For example, this earring is thinner at the top. If needed, add connections between the front and back. Shift the highlights layer slightly or redraw the highlights. To add a highlight on the rim, make a selection of the main base layer by control-clicking its layer icon. Move the selection a few pixels and paint the light on the highlights layer of the back base. If your accessory has a curved profile, use liquify with a high strength value to easily create a rounded metal effect. Emboss and engraving effect. Draw any pattern on the accessory with a hard brush or a decoration brush on a new layer. Control-click the layer icon to create a selection, expand it by a few pixels, and fill it on a new layer below. Copy the highlight layer from the back base onto this layer. Nudge the embossed base a few pixels to enhance the depth, and copy the base highlights layer onto it. Depending on the level of detail you need, you can redraw some highlights, but the copied layers usually provide enough information to create the illusion. Real metals are colorful. Add more color to the object by clipping a new layer in overlay mode to the folder containing the entire object. Paint darker areas using dark purple. Add more sheen with another layer in glow dodge mode. Draw soft orange lines along the edges of highlights. You can also add variety by painting some green tones, especially where light is reflected. The more green you add, the more antique the accessory will appear. Be careful with details. Keep the purpose of your illustration in mind. If it's meant to be a realistic close-up, you can enjoy adding more detail and contrast. However, if it's for a comic, keep it simpler and less contrasting. Strong contrast and tiny details can become distracting when the accessory is only supporting the character's personality. Tip: to integrate the accessory with Lineart, give the accessory folder border effect in the Layer Properties palette. Gold, silver, bronze. With the layer structure shown earlier, you can easily change the type of metal just by adjusting the color of the base layers. Tip: in CSP version 5, you can use tonal corrections on multiple layers. Alternatively, clip a gradient map layer to the entire accessory folder and choose from the presets or create a gradient that suits your design. Pearl. Although pearls are not metallic, their high reflectivity allows us to use many of the same techniques with just two main differences. Spherical gradient tips. Draw the gradient and highlights following the spherical shape. If it doesn't look right at first, use the liquify tool in expand mode. You can quickly turn even a reflected landscape or room into a sphere. Subtle pastel colors. Use a gray base with a slight brown tint. Then use layers in overlay, soft color, or glow dodge modes to create subtle color variations across the full rainbow spectrum. Details. Just like with metallic accessories, remember the focus of your artwork. If you're creating a pearl for a necklace brush, keep the contrast low, the colors unified, and the highlights simple so the accessory doesn't become distracting. How to make gems sparkle. Jewelry gems can have countless cut shapes, so we won't dive deeply into that here. You can create your own designs using the symmetrical ruler. It also helps when filling in detached facets on separate layers, which you can later use for easy coloring by making selections from them. Translucent effect. The secret to translucency is that light enters the gem on one side and hits the opposite inner wall. In simple terms, the gem is darkest near the highlight and lightest and most saturated on the opposite side of the shape. Glitter effect. The sparkling look of cut gems can be achieved by drawing random triangles and diamond shapes on a layer set to add glow or glow dodge, clipped to the base. I've created a brush that produces this effect in a single stroke, available in my assets. Choose a darker main color and a lighter, saturated subcolor, and draw away from the highlight. The brush is set to use the subcolor at the end of each stroke, and it works on layers in both normal and add glow modes. Extra sparkles and colors add flair to your accessories. To make jewelry look even more luxurious, add extra glitter using any particle, sparkle, or dust brush on an add glow or glow dodge layer. Use a light, saturated color that matches your gem or metal. Colored line art. If your artwork includes line art, try coloring it. Clip a new layer to the line art and experiment with color. Having some parts of the line art become colorful, or even almost white around highlights, adds an extra touch of luxury to your accessories. Create brushes and materials from your accessories for further use. If you'd like to reuse your accessory in illustrations, comics, webtoons, or animations, check out my tutorial on creating decorative brushes for tips on turning your drawing into a brush. Or stay tuned for a follow-up tutorial full of tricks on how to work more efficiently when adding accessories to your characters.